Good morning. It is Tuesday and we are about to start our morning workouts. We have a higher intensity workout where we push it a little bit. We've got a bag of books, which is all you need for the workout this morning. Anyway, we then have yoga. Then we have a no floor, no squat, knee friendly workout at 9:30, which is hard to say. Then we have our stomach blast workout at 7 p.m, which always is a popular one. Maybe because of the name. I've learned that though. Anyway, so what I want to talk to you about today is something that I had a chat with someone yesterday, and I think that they're always the best things to talk about, right? Like when I actually have a conversation with someone, I kind of think, and that's why our live Q&As every week are so good, because I think when other people ask questions, so many people have the question, I think, right, I've got to answer that. And yesterday was about the, I guess, current again with takeaways, with coffee shops open, with, us being able to socialize a bit more. The well-meaning friends and eating out, cake culture is kind of back, and it's back of a bit of a, not to the extent it was perhaps, but, it's still, well, to an extent, people have almost more social events, whether that's garden parties or whatever. Or meeting up with friends in parks and stuff, and people baking more and stuff. But her biggest obstacle was, and I completely get this, was almost being out and her not wanting the cake, but everyone going, go on, come on, have a bit. And I completely get it, coming from an Italian background. If I used to go and see, if I go and see my nonna, granddad, anyone like that, it'd be like rude almost not to go in there and eat. Like you might as well go there on an empty stomach, because you're going to be given something. And given that I've got issues with gluten, that could be quite interesting for me, when you're offered pasta dishes, wheat dishes, etc. So I completely get it, and it's a tough one, because you want to get the balance between actually enjoying food, because that's what it's about, versus not missing out, I guess, not restricting yourself to the extent where you just want to binge, and then when you get home, you just have it anyway. So when you look at this situation, when you actually consider, okay, how often do you actually go out and have cake and coffee? And in this situation, it was kind of once or twice a week. And when you actually consider that we fear that once or twice a week, yet we're often battling with snacking, comfort eating on a daily basis, the question can become, is that even the issue? Because we then looked at, okay, you're going to pick once a week for a social event where you just enjoy the social event and have what you want, because that has psychosocial benefits in terms of your relationship with food, your relationship with going out. However, if it is like a 4-5 times and your kind of goals are related to something that really means a lot to you, and it is impacting your results, like whether that's to do with fat loss, fitness, your health, how you feel, your energy, and you almost feel like you're doing something just to please someone else, just remember that isn't actually true. Like, no one's going to disown you if you don't have that. If someone's going, go on, have it, And I think it's an important thing to remember, because it's actually a comforting thought for us to believe that we have to eat it to please someone else. Because if you do believe that, it almost gives us permission to have the cake and feel okay about it. But here's the thing. When we actually spoke about it, I said, okay, do you enjoy the cake? Yeah, I do enjoy the cake. Great. So we're going to have the cake, pick your social event. How many do you need? 1 or 2? 1. Okay. So she's going to have cake once a week with one of her social events. If it's 2, she can balance it. But the next thing is what we call the 1 minute rule method, if you like. So for about 1 minute during that event, if she doesn't want the cake and someone's going, go on, just have it. For about 1 minute, she'll have to put up with, just have it. And yes, that 1 minute seems like it takes ages. But when you consider that for the next 24 hours, she spends herself beating herself up and feeling rubbish, which she shouldn't do, because overall calories are king. So you can balance it out. There's many ways you You can balance this out. But if you think about for the next 24 hours, she's feeling rubbish then. And you know, some people go into that, I've had one piece of cake, I might as well just ruin it, even though that's like saying I've spent £100, I may as well spend £1,000. You wouldn't do that, right? But just remember that it'll last for about 1 minute. You know, people will say, go on, have it. Just see what happens after 1 minute. And remember that if you do have it and you don't want it and you're not enjoying it, because that's the key thing. If you want it, have it. But if you're just having it to please someone else, you've got to remember, is that actually what you want out of what you're doing right now? Are you missing out, or are you aligning your actions with your goals? It's a fine balance, and one that you don't want to get too obsessed with it. But at the same time, if you want to get some results, you may have to make some changes. But then it goes back to the question, is it the socializing that's the issue, or could you make changes elsewhere? I certainly could. You know, we've actually gone over this. If eating out, there's lots of ways you can compensate throughout the week, or you could compensate that day, and stick to more like higher protein foods, get more vegetables, more fruits that day. Just filling foods that will actually mean that you reduce your calories and you have more caloric space without even counting them, if you like. So I hope that helps, because I think it's a tricky one, and obviously now everything's back opening up again, which is great. That is an obstacle, but I guess it's no harder than what you've just been through at home, when you've probably got cakes and biscuits 1 foot away, when sometimes it's harder when no one's there to actually see how much we eat. So swings and roundabouts, and let's focus on what we can control, align our actions with our goals. Hope that helps. Any questions on that, let me know, and speak soon. Take care.